Okay, the first update we have today is the brief on Gia Giudice's recent revelations about her family and career. So after that recent meeting between her mom, Teresa Giudice, her stepfather, Luis Ruelas, and the Gorgas, Joe and Melissa, Gia went on her podcast to talk about where things stand. In this video, we'll be talking about Gia's relationship with the Gorgas right now and a big reality TV opportunity she actually rejected. When it comes to Joe and Melissa Gorga, Gia was super clear. She said there's nothing right now, but she is hopeful they can all find a peaceful place soon. She also mentioned that she and her sisters, well, they aren't really seeing their Gorga cousins at the moment. She said the reality show became very toxic for the kids, which just made it really hard to maintain those relationships. Still, Gia believes if the adults can figure things out, there's definitely room to rebuild those family ties. Now, switching gears from the family drama, Gia also revealed a pretty major career decision. She turned down the chance to be on Love Island, USA, more than once. And the reason is her boyfriend, Christian Carmichael. But Christian actually didn't mind filming Next Gen NYC with her, even though he admitted that being on a show is not his world and it was a bit of an adjustment. So while Gia hopes for family peace, she's really focused on her long-term relationship over joining the dating reality TV scene. Before we get into the next update, please make sure you've liked this video and subscribed to this channel. Okay then, let's move on to the next update now.
Next, we are going to talk about the latest report on the Real Housewives of New York City's Season 16 cast. Okay, so the big cast reveal is supposedly happening this weekend at BravoCon. And, this is all coming right after we heard about the exits of Brynn Whitfield and Rebecca Minkoff. The word on the street is that Bravo is planning a huge shakeup, basically to keep the show from struggling for a third season. The rumored strategy is pretty wild. They're apparently going to combine 3 women from Season 15 with 4 original gangsters, the iconic fan favorites from the classic seasons, and then add 2 brand new ladies to the mix. So, who actually made the cut? Well, the 3 women allegedly returning from last season are Jessel Tunk, Sai Da Silva, and Erin Litchie. And that lineup means we're saying goodbye to Jenna Lyons, Uba Hassan, and Raquel Sheverman, who will not be returning. Now, for the 4 OGs expected to bring back the drama, we're talking Luann de Lesseps, Sonia Morgan, Dorinda Medley, and Carol Rodzimal. And these rumors are definitely being fueled by some recent sightings. For example, Erin Litchie recently posted about being out with Carol Rodzimal, which really illuminates the possibility of a comeback, right? Plus, Dorinda Medley was just spotted heading to Vegas for BravoCon. It looks like filming for this potentially iconic new cast is expected to kick off in January, right after the holidays. So this was today's update about RHONY Season 16. Let's now move on to the next update. Next, we are going to talk about the bombshell new TLC documentary targeting Real Housewives of Salt Lake City star Mary Cosby. So this is a 3-part special called The Cult of the Real Housewife, and it illuminates the misconduct claims and controversy surrounding Mary and her husband Robert Cosby Sr., specifically about their church, Faith Temple Pentecostal. The special features several commentators, including Mary's own sister, former church members, a cult expert, and even YouTuber Adam Newell of Up and Adam. They all dissect Mary's highly publicized marriage to Robert Sr., who, as you know, is her step-grandfather. The marriage itself is just so central to this discussion. Mary's sister recalls Robert Sr. claiming that God was telling him to marry my sister. And from there, the trailer just showcases some really shocking accusations. You have one woman asserting, "I absolutely believe that Mary and Robert are running a cult." Adam Newell even suggests that members of Faith Temple Church believe Mary is God. On top of all that, people accuse Mary of financial exploitation, claiming Mary's kink is money, and that they destroyed their families to put Robert and Mary first. This whole expose premieres on TLC on Thursday, January 1st, and it'll be available to stream the next day on Max and Discovery+. So this was today's update about the accusations against RHOSLC's Mary Cosby in the new TLC documentary. Let's now move on to the next update.
Next, we are going to talk about the recent friendship update shared by Jennifer Pedranti and Tamra Judge following the conclusion of the Real Housewives of Orange County Season 19 reunion. So during the reunion, it became super clear that things are, well, not good between them. Jen and Tamra both agreed they just don't talk anymore and haven't even seen each other since filming wrapped. Jen basically said she was over it. She felt like she was fighting for a friendship that was never real. But Tamra, of course, saw it differently. She shot back that Jen wasn't fighting for it at all this season and was just constantly poking at her. The real heart of the issue, though, was Tamra's explosive accusation that Jen was trying to imitate her life just to get on the show. And it got really specific. Tamra listed things like Jen buying a house on her street, though she did admit she wasn't living there when Jen moved in, and going to the same doctor and hair salon. She even brought up Jen coming to the gym to do a fitness competition. Jen just flat out denied it all. She clarified that she was simply looking for a trainer, the gym was convenient, and said the connections were either a total coincidence or just not true. Heather Dubrow even jumped in, and the cast agreed that Jen's use of hair extensions was all just done as a joke. In the end, Tamra did apologize to Jen for showing that old photo of her, that whole fatty photo drama. So this was today's update about the strained friendship between Jennifer Pedrante and Tamra Judge. Let's now move on to next update.
Next, we are going to talk about the dramatic accusations and intense denials from The Real Housewives of Orange County Reunion Part 2. This episode really demonstrates the chaotic energy you get when old history, especially these wild allegations of drugging and manipulation, just resurfaces and completely takes over the stage with intense counter-accusations. So a huge part of the reunion was focused on that years-long naked wasted drama. Katie and her husband Matt showed up ready to challenge Gretchen. Katie flat out stated that Gretchen lied about going to the hospital and having a positive toxicology report after Tamra allegedly drugged her. Then Matt clarified that he actually got a 911 text from Slade telling him to hold the line with Katie, all to reinforce Gretchen's story and make Tamra look dangerous. But when Gretchen felt cornered, she threw out this shocking claim that Matt was the one who said, "The second I met Eddie, I knew he was gay." Katie immediately denied it, saying Gretchen made that statement first. From there, the conflict moved right over to Katie and Jen Pedrante. Matt jumped in, scoffing at Jen for marrying a man, Ryan, who supposedly did a deal with the feds. Jen was furious and shot back, claiming Katie had asked a friend if Ryan was involved in Matt's illegal bookie business, basically suggesting Katie was digging for dirt. Then Katie accused Jen of messing with her paycheck by failing to back her up when all that drama hit over a racially insensitive video Jen had posted. Katie claimed Jen never officially apologized and instead blamed Katie for the backlash. Separately, Tamra just admitted she shared that infamous fatty photo of Jen just to be shady. And yes, Jen did confirm she had an affair and is now with Ryan. So this was today's update about the explosive Real Housewives of Orange County Reunion Part 2. Let's now move on to next update. Next, we are going to talk about the ongoing legal dispute between Heather Gay and Monica Garcia. So this whole drama actually centers on a lawsuit that was filed 2 years ago. It's from Heather's Med Spa Beauty Lab Plus Laser, and it's against Monica for some unpaid cosmetic injections. But what started as a simple bill has now completely spiraled. Okay, so back in November, a judgment reportedly ordered Monica to pay the spa around $35,000. But Heather recently said on Housewives Nightcap that Monica still hasn't paid anything. And get this, she claims the debt has now soared to upwards of $60,000. Heather made it super clear she thinks people should pay their bills, and she has no plans to film with or even be friends with Monica. But, of course, Monica is telling a very different story. She went on Reality with the King and really broke it down, clarifying that the actual bill for the service was only $2,000. So you're probably wondering, where did that extra $33,000 come from? Well, she demonstrates that it was all legal fees sought by Heather's company. And it turns out the original court filing actually allows for that. It lets the plaintiff recover future collection costs and attorney's fees, which is why the number just keeps climbing. In fact, Monica's lawyer has called the amount of fees greatly excessive and confirmed an appeal would be filed. So this was today's update about the legal dispute between Heather Gay and Monica Garcia. Let's now move on to next update. Next, we are going to talk about Chrishell Stoss's recent exit from Selling Sunset and her surprising claims about production power. So you might have heard, Chrishell announced she was leaving the show about on November 7th. And she did not go quietly. She's since unfollowed pretty much the entire cast, with the notable exception of Chelsea Lascani, which, well, that turns out to be a pretty big clue. So what really kicked all of this off? It seems to have started with a 2024 interview clip of Chelsea, where she got visibly emotional while talking about the microaggressions she faced on the show. Chelsea explained that she often felt like her personality and even her dialect were misconstrued, leading to her being labeled as aggressive or a bully. She pointed out that when other co-stars acted similarly, they were just seen as standing up for themselves. Chrishell saw this and called Chelsea's experience heartbreaking. But she didn't stop there. She used that moment to point a finger directly at what she says is the real problem, having I quote, an all-white production company with an exec producer credit and editing power to Jason Oppenheim.
And to really illuminate the kind of power we're talking about, Chrishell claimed Jason has actually threatened to cancel the whole show before, telling production, if you don't take that out, there is no show.